I've been talking about two important things that Joe Biden should do right now, in addition to figuring out, of course, his cabinet and his advisors. And those two things are immediately establish a parallel coronavirus task force, even while Donald Trump is still president. And number two, start putting together a list of Donald Trump's fiascos that Joe Biden can undo by executive order. A lot you can't do by executive order, but a lot you can. And Joe Biden is doing both of these things. I'm going to talk about the coronavirus task force separately, but we've already learned that Joe Biden is planning an immediate flurry of executive orders to, on day one, reverse some of the most harebrained Trump policies. So far, the list we have of what Biden will do immediately after taking office includes, number one, rejoining the Paris Climate Accords. Must do. It's not nearly enough, but it's the first step in starting to reintegrate the United States into the international community that is taking climate change seriously. Rejoin the Paris Climate Accords. Reverse Donald Trump's withdrawal from the World Health Organization, which he did announce during a pandemic. It has not fully happened. So Joe Biden, hopefully, thanks to Trump's incompetence, he's not fully carried out some of the harebrained decisions he made. Joe Biden will repeal that Muslim majority country travel ban. Of course, what we need is actual targeted screening of individuals. And primarily, if you want to make it a country focus, you would focus on the countries that have sent terrorists. Trump not even including those countries on his list. So Joe Biden will reverse that. Joe Biden will reinstate the Dreamers program. Very, very important. Relating to immigration, Joe Biden will reinstate dozens of environmental and business regulations that Donald Trump undid, which allow pollution and so much else. And Joe Biden also expected to immediately repeal that ridiculous military transgender ban. Now, you might remember that under Barack Obama, executive orders were tyranny. Under Trump, executive orders were necessary and heroic, according to the American right. You can be sure that they are going to do the exact same thing this time, saying Biden is tyranny with executive orders because there is so much damage that Joe Biden has to undo. My advice is we don't even engage in that conversation. We keep it simple. Trump was an unmitigated disaster. It is an emergency that Joe Biden start his presidency undoing as much of what Trump destroyed as he can. Trump's entire endgame was undoing the Obama legacy. Is there something poetic about losing to Barack Obama's vice president, who then will start undoing the disasters of Donald Trump? The problem is that the Republican right-wing wacky Supreme Court is at the ready right now. So it will be different for Joe Biden than it was for Donald Trump. Fortunately, the best legal analysis I've read so far is that most of what Joe Biden plans to do via executive order is not challengeable in any way that it would pull in the Supreme Court. The problem will be that even with Biden rejoining things like the WHO and Paris Climate, if you're another country, you realize that while these are the right decisions today, you can say Biden's doing the right thing. You now know that just as quickly, if we get another Trump in, they could just bail, undoing years of work. Trump destroyed decades of trust and confidence, and that will take much longer than some day one executive orders to undo. But we will be following all of it. And I encourage you to follow us on Instagram at David Pakman Show. And while you're there, follow me on Instagram at david.pakman.